Hey, hello everyone, and welcome to the first full day of Fantastic Fest. How are y'all doing? Hopefully y'all have had a good time so far. You're certainly going to have a good time when you watch Triggered. Before we talk about Triggered, I do want to get some housekeeping out of the way. Triggered. Triggered is this really great film. As a programmer, one of the things I really look for is like really great action, and if there's like a bunch of gore involved, it's even better. Triggered is one of those movies. I don't know if you need a gang, a group of cops, and a former special forces soldier to like go into a warehouse to kill each other, but thank God they do because it's amazing. It's a really great film. It's got lots of great set pieces. The lead actor gives this incredibly physical performance. It's got martial arts. And you're about to see how many different ways you can kill people in a warehouse. Turns out there's a lot. I do want to invite director Richard Somas up to share a few words before we begin the film.
Thank you for coming here. It's an honor that we were invited here, and me and my producer and my actor is here, so we are all honored to present our film here. And we're all excited as much as you guys also, because um, it's always been our dream to really do something different uh, in our country, and we want to push the level of our action cinema there. So now it's here, and we're going to introduce this to all of you, and I hope you're going to enjoy this. And at the same time, having here is so special and important to us because our supervising producer, his name is Nars Gulmatico. He worked on this project for 1 year and a half, but sad to say he passed away a week ago, and he will never going to see the film in full bloom. But he's been so supportive with this, to bring this to Fantastic Fest and to bring this to a whole lot of festivals as much as, because everyone is so proud. So my lead actor Arjo Atayde is here. Later you're going to be sharing some talks with him. My strong and very compassionate producer, as Miss Sylvia Sanchez, and also our producer Weng Corpus is here also, and our guest, the wife of our actor, Miss Maine Mendoza, and of course Michaelangelo, our friend and our distributor, our agent, who's doing all this stuff all over the world for us. So I'm not gonna take this long, but thank you for having us here, and I hope you're going to enjoy. And for the first time, you're going to see how Filipino action films are made. So thank you and good afternoon.
As the director mentioned, we will be doing a Q&A afterwards, and you're going to want to ask about all of those great kills. Enjoy. Please welcome Richard, Arjo, and Michaelangelo to the front of the theater. It's so bright I cannot see. I hope they are coming. Just a great movie. Thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Thank you. Thank you for staying also.
Do you want to introduce yourselves real quick?
Well, of course, this film never going to be possible without the effort and all of the prowess of my great actor here. Of course, Mr. Arjo Atayde. So you've seen him in the film and how he made it all true, and maybe later we could share all of his endeavors and all the challenges that he's been through with all the actors also. And of course, our co-producer, our agent and distributor in Canada, of course, our kababayan and kaibigan, our friend, Michaelangelo Masangkay. We're all here.
Well, thank you all so much. It really is just a wonderful film. The first question I want to ask, it's real handy. There are so many exploding barrels in that warehouse. How did you go about preparing that? Because you're actually like blowing them up. How did you go about making it safe? And also, like, how much fun was it?
We're very much particular with all the safety, despite of all our explosions and our special effects there. Because of course in the Philippines we're very much into it because there's so much care and execution with all the filming there because there's a whole lot of issues and there's a whole lot of different challenges ahead. So we always make sure that our actors, our staff and crew will be all safe because it's really, really difficult working in a harsh environment like that also. So part of it, my producers and my actors and everyone else, uh, we want to make it very clear that everyone will be safe and could really finish the job. So that's really our goal there.
Absolutely. It looks great, I'll say.
Thank you.
Arjo, it's a really physical role that you have to embody in the film, and I know that you have a stunt double for it, but I can tell that you're doing a lot of the physicality yourself. How did you go about preparing for this role? Had you done like action stuff like this before?
Oh yeah, I've been doing action in the Philippines for quite some time, maybe a decade or so.
Wow.
But I've been doing television, and preparation-wise, I guess Direk Richard sent me with their stunt team headed by Erwin Tagle. They trained me for quite some time, I think just for movements or so. Military position, how they shoot, how they move, and we had a scout ranger on the set who's experienced real war in the Philippines, and definitely down. For example, I asked them, how do you get down when, especially in the first scene, right in the opening, like real questions. So I was like, how do scout rangers react when someone gets shot in the head, like point blank? And he goes, there's no proper way of going down on the floor. Just get down on the floor, you know. And definitely physical preparations. We had to work on it, and definitely having the scout rangers with us on the set was definitely a big help. And physically, it was really draining. I can't even explain. I think actually almost everything, we've done it together. And yeah, it was just really hard, but challenging, but it's fulfilling at the end of the day. It's really hard to do action, but it's fun to watch action. So.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
Richard, what's it like directing an actor with so many physical stunts? And I also have to say, your co-star Julia, I think is her name.
Yeah.
She's so good in the film as well. And so, how do you go about directing that? And one, safety, but also just like how do you make sure that something looks good on film, it comes across, and with fight choreography and those types of things?
The one thing that really separate us from some other Asian countries is we are not known as martial art countries. So we're not like the Hong Kong cinema where everyone is just so good about doing all the stunts. And we are not also known for like a wushu or a Muay Thai kind of country. But what we have there is more of the visceral or the primal instinct of how to fight. So that's the reason why that even in our first scene in the action film, in the opening scene, we have an advisor and a consultant who is a veteran of I'm sure you've heard about the Marawi siege, which is like happened 4 years ago, where one of this town in the south of the Philippines were invaded by extremists. So our consultant is one of the veteran in there, and we really asked a lot of consultations about how fighting in the jungle, because we are known as a very tropical country and we have lush jungles in there. So basically, he trained Arjo with how to handle the guns. That's real. Even how how the command, how he commands his comrades. But one thing, it is not like very much like the Hollywood type where everyone's like so good looking at it. Because when you're at war, he said, when you're at war, it's not beautiful anymore and everything is just ugly. And as long as you can pull the trigger, you just pull the trigger, anything that moves in front of you. And the reason of those explosions and the sound and all, he said to us, it's exactly what happened when you're inside the war zone. There's no more clarity in it. It's just noise, screams, wailing, and all these gunshot wounds. So everything is so hazy and crazy and so destructive. So we pick up from there. Then when my actors, and most especially Julia, came into the picture as the lead characters, what we have set in the film is how it is really in that very the same situation when you are caught up in a crossfire, or even if you're just running for your life or surviving just to seize the day again or to live another day just for that glimmer of moment that you could still be breathing. So in preparation, what's exciting about your actors working with them is when they are all committed and they just want to do it genuinely. That's the most important thing. That's the reason. That's the main lesson that I've learned. Like most especially with Arjo, because I cannot expect that everyone could really be on that choreography where everybody's like just shooting and all. Uh, Aside from you're also dealing with hand-to-hand combats and all. But what Arjo uh, set aside from the rest is, if you look at him, his commitment, his energy, his force, his will to really be into it. That's the reason why you see it, that everything is so real. And also with Julia Montes. It's just how she formed all of this rage and anger and all. So every now and then when we're doing the scene, we just always go back to that moment before we start the scene. So like with Arjo, I always whisper to him, just imagine this scene, what happened to you in the past, then everything will just gonna come out. So every time we do that, all of this preparation, you could see Arjo and Julia in one corner and they're just like telling me, just give me like a minute for or so. So they're just like building it up, building it up, building it up, and then when they go to the set, they are the different person already. So Arjo is like this Topakk guy. Topakk meaning crazy, crazy in our, it's a slang word. But if they said that guy has Topakk, so he's deranged, he's crazy. So even so, all of his mannerisms are just coming out naturally. So I think as a director, you're only good as your actors too. So you're getting the best of them because they're giving you the best that they can for the screen and for you also. So that's the reason why I praise them so much.
It really comes across. Arjo, you're great in the movie. It makes, I think, it really fun and also just like really intense. I have to say, I love a good bad guy, and you feel real bad for Romero. He's not a bad guy, he just does a really bad job. And he's also really great in the film. I'd love to know what it was like to work with him as well.
And I think it's nice that Arjo could explain it to him because they're really working hand in hand every time they're free on the set. They're really working hand in hand, and that's the reason why their relationship and their camaraderie on set really becomes so strong that you starting to empathize or sympathize with Romero. I think Arjo could really share a lot of that.
Oh, you're talking about Romero's. His name is Sid Lucero. He's one of the greatest actors in the Philippines, to tell you honestly. Working with him was so easy. I cut story short by saying we're just laughing on the set, but when we get on the set to do the characters, it's always just we just hit it. Just go with the flow. He's very helpful in a lot of ways, physically, especially for that last scene that we did. We took that for 3 days.
We shot that actually
Yep.
since that we're just really working on a tight budget. So that rain effect is we just waited for a real rain effect for 3 days.
Yeah,
we shot
but there was a
that
storm,
before
so
the
it was
storm.
practically a storm and fake rain at the same time. So when the rain stops, the fake rain starts pouring out, and it was freezing cold. But definitely to get back to your question, he's working with him was really fun. With Julia as well, they're all great actors in the Philippines. I could vouch for that. Um, it was everything was hard physically, but being with a great team made it easy.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
We are running a little short on time, so I'm just gonna do a quick speed round. What's your favorite kill in the movie?
Me, my favorite kill in the movie was well, I have three. So first is the ceiling fan,
Yeah.
and then the second one is a flashlight because we even got a consultant in there, and this is also could help you for the home defense or protecting yourself. When you don't have anything, just bring a flashlight. That's it. So we really got that consultation from one of the, I think a self-protection unit guy, and he was just like carrying flashlight and just like bringing it, giving it to anyone who is like his training on, because flashlight is really helpful. It saves a lot of lives. And the third one was the this engine type pipe with Julia smashing his head.
That's a
But-
great one.
And also, but what's nice about it, because it's also like a collaboration with me, with my producers, and also with Michelangelo's insights also about all of these things. Maybe you could share that, Michael, the dead scenes and all.
Well, we at Raven Banner, we're just be unapologetic about the violence.
Yeah, we like that at Fantastic
Right.
Fest.
So we're just like a lot of the stuff that comes out of Southeast Asia for predominantly is it's kind of soft. So when we were talking about the film in the onset, it was like, okay, if we're gonna do this, go raw and go visceral, just like the fight scenes and everything else, but let the blood flow on all the scenes. So yeah, I don't know how much they used, but they used a lot of blood to the point where now it's you get baptized by Somes blood. There's a thing in the Philippines, so.
Yeah, so everybody just like love blood now because of what Arjo did.
Arjo, do you have a favorite kill in the movie?
Well, actually, that's hard. Practically, I enjoyed all the killings, especially with those part of. But definitely, it's the end. It's the least, I'm sure, least bloody scene, but it goes 360 in the story. So that's definitely my favorite. Killing Romero.
Sure. It's a great moment, and you both play it so well.
Thank you.
I'm partial to the circular saw. It's a great moment. It's really great. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry we're a little bit short. We have time for one audience question. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask?
Sure.
Yes, even two. We can. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm interested in your inspirations, for this movie. Like I think I saw the influences of a couple kind of classic action movies, but I'm interested in what you drew from the most.
Just for the other theater, the question is what movies inspired you for this film?
Well, of course. I've always been telling a lot of audience and people and even producers that I don't see myself as a filmmaker, but I always see myself as a fanboy. So in order for you to come up with a genre or a thing, something like this, you need to be a fanboy of all the films that inspired you way back in your childhood. So why, if you look at it, it's part of it, it's a siege film, because my favorite film before, way back in my early years, was Sam Peckinpah's Straw Dogs. That's the reason why my company named Straw Dog Studio, because that's one of my favorite film. And of course, Wild Bunch by Sam Peckinpah also, because if you see the dynamic of the action set pieces and all, it's raw, it's powerful. But when I came during the 80s period, that's where my life changed after watching all of this Stallone trilogy, First Blood. So I really, even if you notice the walk of Arjo in that scene going to the warehouse with this soft music, it's really inspired by John Rambo's walking along the town in First Blood before he got like crossed with the sheriff, and even his costuming, wearing the boots and the jeans, that's very John Rambo, because these films are all my inspirations, coming from all of the canon films. I can really name everything from Chuck Norris films, from even to the time of Lethal Weapon, and even so the genre of the ninja genres that came before with Shukusugi and also, those are my inspiration to that. So I realized that having this certain kind of chance now as a filmmaker to do something like this, I gathered a whole lot of information in stories, and Arjo's character is just one of those stories in the Philippines that you've been hearing. Like there's a security guard who just got crazy and just got into a shooting rampage, and then we realized that this guard is just not an ordinary guard, but he has a whole lot of experiences, and we discovered that this guy is somehow like a soldier or what, and he is dealing with PTSD in his mind. But in the Philippines, it's not that PTSD it's not existing. It's just that in the Philippines, we have this a big support system, family and all, friends, so community. So in somehow, we are just used to that, having those certain kind of issues. You have this strong unit that could always say to you, "That's okay, don't worry, you just have to drink gin and whiskey or no, and then you'll be okay." Now somehow, it's not that our government is ignoring it or what, but somehow they just been like used to that we Filipinos are just tough, or we could handle it, but it's existing. So that security guard story are just one of those stories that really came to us, that it's powerful and it can be relatable, and also stories of the soldiers that we've gathered around. So that's everything is just so real. Even the war itself. Of course, you've been hearing in the news the war in the jungle, the war in the urban cities, and of course, the different kind of war that happened to us 6 years ago. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, so even that, those are all real. So that's the reason why the film came out as genuine, as real, as raw, because it's not a make-believe story. It's a stories that's happening to us. It's just how we just put in a different narrative all in all.
Well, thank you all so much. We are out of time and they have to clean this theater. It's a wonderful film. Thank you all so much for letting us have it a fantastic time. We look forward. There's other screenings, so be sure to let other people know that they come see it.